Frames, if you're starting out new, you have new foundation. I'll talk about this in a little bit. You put 10 frames in. Because if you put 9, the bees fill in spaces that are much more than, I think it's 5/8. What's that? It's 3/8. It's 3/8. They'll fill in spaces. And call it bird comb, all kinds of frames. So you start out with 10 frames. There are different kinds of frames. I'm going to pass these around. What do you call these frames? So this is the top bar. I have individual ones somewhere. Pass this around and look at it. And it says it's a groove top bar. There's different kinds of top bars. All right. So you put a different specific type of frame in a particular type of groove or wedge top bar. All right. So the top bar, end bar, bottom bar. And there's different types of bottom bars, different types of top bars. End bars are pretty much standard, with the exception that a friend of ours kept these in the River Falls area, and he doubled everything up. So his frames this deep. He had to make special boxes. So it was interesting. I have a video on that. Okay. This is a wedge. The bar that's coming along is a groove top bar. It's just groove. I mean, there's a groove in it. All right. Well, you look at this one. It looks like it's just a groove too, right? But you'll see a little strip of wood right here. I'm not going to snap it out. But what you do is just give it a little push like that, and it comes out. So this is a wedge top bar. With a wedge top bar, we use a specific type of foundation. And the foundation has little hooks on it, and so you put that here, and then you wedge that in, and you nail it. Now I staple it. I use a fairly long, not 3/4, but what was it, 7/16, something like that. But when you nail it, push that holds that foundation in, and then when you push that and staple, the stapler usually doesn't push the stapler all the way down, so I have to hammer. The reason I don't use nails is it's quicker. The bees are not Hercules, or whatever you want to say, Atlas. They can tear some things up, but they're pretty good. So staple these together. It's much easier.
You make these yourself?
Oh yeah, I have, yes. The only thing is, when I made them, and I made at least 100 of them. If you've got a jointer, I grow my son off. And sometimes I took carpenter. But I made them. But with the wood I had, I put those frames in, foundation, everything on them here. Those bees didn't like it. No, I kind of forced them into it. So they showed me they didn't like it. I don't know where they got it, but they put gluey red all over the thing. I don't know where in the world they got the stuff. They showed me they didn't like it. And it took them a while to accept it. So I don't know what was in the wood, but it was construction wood. And I didn't use the green treated. I know I did not use the green treated. All right. So we can pass this around. This is just a wedge shop, but you can see that cut, and it's cut so that that wedge will pop out really easy. And then you put a certain type of foundation in it. But you don't use as many frames, but you get just as much honey than using 9 frame after it's raw. All right? And you can do the same thing. Some people with the brood chamber will use 9. I never use 9 in the brood chamber. While we're at it, in case we don't mention it, with a brood chamber, if you ever get into the brood chamber, take off the honey and whatever, you've got 10 frames, or 9, doesn't make a difference. Always start out toward the edge of the sugar. Always take the frame, either the one way out of the outside or the next one. Don't start in the center. Anybody tell me why? The queen might be there. And that's one you don't want to squeeze, injure, mutilate, or fold. start from the outside. Doesn't make it right or left. The queen usually is not. I said usually. Bob said something about, you know, you'll find that things are a little bit different than we say sometimes. And so keep in mind, biologists usually say usually, because you can always find an exception. All right? But the queen is usually not out to the edges. Question?
Oscar, I've got a frame here that I thought would be a great answer to the structural problems you have with this wood thing here. I've been in with bees for decades, and I can't get bees to take to this thing.
No, okay. I got one too. We got pairs here. Now, your comment is well taken. If you feel this, I'll pass this around. But if some of you want to go into this, do. Last year, when we had the class, and I had my half the class out over at the Crescent, and the gentleman who had allowed us to put the bees there and come on to his post, he asked me if I'd do it again this year. Anyhow, he had bees before, and he had plastic foundation. Now, he's an engineer. Engineers are very, very, very specific with things. Whenever I go and work with my hive, two of them beside his, and he has one. His is nicer painted, beautiful, and so on. I don't know what the one Bob has there, but that's no problem. But if I have it a millimeter off, this guy is coming over right behind me, straightening that thing out. Okay. But he had plastic cone. He had used it, he cleaned it up. Did a very good job. And so, okay, we started the bees, and I told him, start the bees in a medium. And I said, I don't like plastic. Well, then we put the deep on after the bees were going. I have a picture for this. Okay, so here we come back in, I don't know, June, when we come out to March the bees. Of course, there's some other things happening in between. Here's my hive up here. I'm going into the second deep. He had the bees on the plastic frames. I don't know why they did this, but they had a little U here, a little U here. The next one had a little U here, and a little U here. I was a full super ahead of it. And he says, what can I do? Okay. So I took my hive, and this is why you have two hives. I opened up one of my hives, and I told him, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get a full frame of brood, which mine are all wood. We're going to put that right in between his, which we did. We scraped off, this toothbrush. We scraped off all the bees. You don't have to, but it causes conflict. So you scrape off all the bees, you brush them off. That's great. But you brush them off, okay? Put that other full brood in there. The bees will accept it, okay? Just like that. Come back next time, filling them up just beautiful. So you really have to force them. That's what it turns out to be, okay? Why black? You can see the eggs better, okay? You can kind of feel the waxy on this. Well, we're at that. To the point we want to raise queens, we want to have a lot of boys around. An interesting story on that too. But this is drone comb. Now, Wayne Lamar has done this for several years. Put this in a hive, the queen would only lay, to make the cells the same size, and it's a bigger cell for the male. And the male will take longer for him to develop, his lazy, all kinds of things. Females go over. Okay, this is drone comb. Now, when you have a mite problem, you can put this in the hive, and the queen will lay it full of drone, eggs. A drone is made by a queen, you heard me right, saying the queen doesn't fertilize the egg. All right? So you say, wait a minute, the queen don't have sperm. When the queen mates, she stores the sperm. She can dole the sperm out one at a time to fertilize an egg. She's got the spermatheca to do this, okay? So it's filled up full of drones. The mites love drones. The mites love drones. So they come to the drone comb, you pull this out before they develop, put it in the freezer, and then you can have chickens. Put this out there and let the chickens eat the larvae out. Okay? They actually do that. Right? But that's what this comb is for. That's a drone comb. Now you can get different sizes. Bees would build on that. I'd have to put a little wax on it, but they'll build on it. But that's aluminum. It'll get and pop out if it's cooler. But just pass it around and look at it. Handle carefully if you
I got one like that, excepting that they have made the aluminum into cells on the sides.
Okay, yeah. Some of them, yeah.
We don't recommend them because they're whole.
I won't pass this around right now, but the reason for doing this, I have all the labeling on it, but the foundation, this one is a wedge type, wedge top bar. And the, I can have foundation for that. This one became an accordion. It's supposed to be flat. But as you pass this around, you can see the little wires on the top, right? And that's what we call it, the crimp wire with hooks. That fits in the wedge top bar. Because you put this in, when you take the wedge out, put this in, put the bottom down in the groove, and then you put that little strip of wood below the hooks here, and you nail it. And they can hold it. I just hold it by the hooks right now. You can pass it around. It'll get broken before you get done. This is called Duragil, and this has a plastic center, and then wax on either side, and a metal strip on the edge. The idea is it's faster. You don't have to wire it. It'll hold itself together quick, all that sort of thing. The only thing is, if the wax comes off, forget about your bees working on it. They will not do anything but you've got to clean it out. Whereas some of the others, it will take it out. Okay, I think I'm here to answer the question. Well, you get nervous when you're up here, people. Especially when you're trying to demonstrate something. It isn't working.
Yeah. Do you prefer that to the plastic, to the black, or the green that you?
I don't prefer either one of them.
The wax. So then what do you use?
I use pure wax, just like that one thing that's set around.
And it's the wax that's the foundation.
Yes.
That's
You
the
prefer
Is that the question?
Yes, you prefer that.
I prefer that.
Okay. That's all
Definitely.
I want to know.
Okay. Now you see, if I'm out in front of the class, I can do that easier. But I don't know if this helps.
Yes, that answers my, thank you.
But you do that also with that wax there. So you put that in there, the wedge fits in there. They're very good at fitting the foundation to the frame. Yeah. Right.
Do you prefer the wax because it's natural or is it better? Why do you prefer the wax?
Well,
Now
bees
the black one is for seeing the eggs, right?
Bees work better with it.
The bees work better.
Yes.
Okay.
And so the natural part, yes.
Okay.
And so, when a question like that, you're not being a smart aleck, the answer is yes and yes. It's because they work better with it, and when something happens, you have to tear it out anyhow. Now you say, well, what happens in the wax? You tear it out. But it's less likely to happen there. The bees are they'll work this pretty good. The other plastic, they don't work very well. You have a test too, like this.